The warm September sun bathed the small town of Middletown, Ohio, in a golden sheen on the afternoon of September 10th, 2025. The town square buzzed with the gentle hum of a community festival, its cobblestone paths lined with booths selling apple cider and handmade quilts. Families strolled past, their laughter mingling with the twang of a local bluegrass band playing under a striped canopy, while the scent of cinnamon donuts wafted through the air. Yotde, Vance U.S., senator from Ohio, author of Hillbilly Elegy, and a man whose roots ran deep in this Rust Belt soil stood near a wooden table, his dark hair slightly tousled, his gray sweater casual under a light jacket. At 41, he carried a quiet presence, his hazel eyes scanning the crowd with a mix of nostalgia and warmth. He wasn't there as a politician today, but as a neighbor invited by the Middletown Historical Society to join the festival and greet folks a chance to reconnect with the town that had shaped him. Beside him, a stack of festival programs fluttered in the breeze as he chatted with a few locals, his hands tucked in his pockets, his Ohio drawl a comforting thread in the conversation. "Still smells like home," he said with a faint grin to a woman in a Reds cap, who laughed and handed him a cider. Kids darted around, chasing balloons, and Vance watched them with a soft smile, the day unfolding like a memory from his own childhood. The festival moved with an easy rhythm. Vendors called out specials, a clogging troupe tapped on a makeshift stage, and the clink of a horseshoe game rang from a nearby pit. Vance swapped stories with an old-timer about the steel mill days, his voice warm as he listened to tales of Middletown's past. A boy in overalls tugged his sleeve, asking for a photo, and Vance obliged, kneeling for the shot with a chuckle, "Only if you say go Bucks first." The kid grinned, complying, and ran off, leaving Vance shaking his head in amusement. That's when the air shifted. A small figure emerged from the crowded girl, no more than 7, her blonde pigtails tied with pink ribbons, her sundress swaying as she stepped forward. She clutched a folded piece of paper, her green eyes wide with a mix of shyness and determination, her sneakers scuffing the cobblestones as she approached. The crowd parted, some smiling at her pluck, others tilting their heads, intrigued by the quiet purpose in her stride. "Mr. Vance?" she said, her voice small but clear, cutting through the festival's hum like a bell. Vance turned, his hazel eyes softening as they met hers, his hands slipping from his pockets as he crouched to her level. "Hey there, sweetheart," he said gently, his tone inviting. "What's your name?" She shifted, her paper crinkling. "Lily," she replied, her voice steady but tinged with a quiet weight. "Who made this for you?" She held out the folded paper, her hands trembling slightly, and Vance took it, unfolding it carefully. It was a child's drawing crayon lines of a blue sky, a smiling sun, and scribbled words, "A prayer for you." The crowd hushed, some gasping faintly, others leaning in, phones slipping into hands as they sensed a moment unfolding. Vance's smile faded, replaced by a look of quiet focus, his fingers tracing the crayon lines as he read the shaky script aloud. "Dear God, keep Mr. Vance safe and happy. He helps people like my daddy used to." His hazel eyes flickered with surprise, then softened, meeting Lily's gaze. "This is beautiful. Lila, how's your daddy?" he asked, his voice gentle. She swallowed, her green eyes glistening. "He's gone now, worked at the mill. Mommy says you fight for people like him, so I prayed for you." The words landed softly, but their depth rippled through the crowd. Some sniffled. Others clutched their own kids, phones rising higher as the moment stretched, tender and taut. The festival seemed to pause, the bluegrass bands strumming fading, the clatter of horseshoes halting, as if the town itself held its breath for Vance's reply. Lily stood there, her pigtails swaying, her green eyes searching, the prayer trembling in Vance's hands. The crowd waited. Would he offer a quick thanks? A pat on the head? Most expected something simple, a senator's nod to a child's sweet gesture. What came next would turn the moment upside down, leaving Lily beaming and the crowd in tears of joy, stunned by words so unexpected, They lit up the square in ways no one saw coming. Vance stayed crouched, his gray sweater brushing the cobblestones, his hazel eyes locked with Lily's as he held her crayon prayer between them. The crowd's hush deepened, the rustle of leaves and distant hum of the festival amplifying the stillness, every eye drawn to the tender exchange. Lily's small hands fidgeted, her green eyes glistening with a mix of hope and nerves, her sundress swaying faintly in the breeze. Phones rose higher, lenses catching the sunlight, capturing the quiet as it stretched taut with anticipation, soft with something unspoken. He tilted his head slightly, his voice emerging low and warm, cutting through the silence like a lantern in the dusk. "Lily," he began, his Ohio drawl grounding the moment, "this is the best gift I've gotten in a long time, maybe ever." The crowd softened, some smiling, others clutching their chests, sensing the weight in his tone. Lily's eyes widened, her lips parting as she hung on his words. "Your daddy, he sounds like a fighter, like my mama was," Vance continued, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "She'd have loved this your prayer, your heart. And I bet he's smiling right now, seeing you give it to me." Larson's group lingered at the edges, their earlier chants a distant memory, their presence now a quiet footnote as Vance's voice rose, gentle but carrying to every corner. "You know what prayers do?" he asked, his tone shifting to a quiet wonder. "They're like bridges connecting us to something bigger, to the people we miss, to each other. Yours this little paper, it's a bridge from you to me, and from me back to you." Lily's smile flickered, small but growing, her eyes shimmering as Vance's words wove a picture too real to resist. The crowd stood spellbound, some gasped softly, others wiped tears, caught off guard by the depth in his reply. "I don't have all the answers. Lily, am no saint," he said, his voice dropping to a near whisper, yet piercing the hush. "But I think your daddy's up there, proud as can be, knowing you're brave enough to pray for someone like me. And I'll tell you a secret, I pray too, for kids like you, for towns like this, for the folks who keep going even when it's hard." "Your prayer?" "It's my prayer, now we in this together." Lily's smile burst wide, a quiet glow breaking through her shyness, and she nodded, her pigtails bobbing as a tear slipped down her cheek. Larson's jaw dropped, her earlier venom replaced by a stunned blink, her megaphone forgotten as Vance's words hit not with a lecture's heft, but with a kindness that cut deeper than any protest could. The crowd erupted not with shouts, but with a wave of applause, gentle at first, then swelling into a roar that shook the square's cobblestones. People leapt to their feet, parents, vendors, kids clapping with a warmth that drowned out any lingering doubt. "That's beautiful," a woman in a Reds cap shouted, tears streaming. "Bless you, JD," a man in a flannel shirt yelled, his voice breaking. Vance stood, his hand resting on Lily's shoulder, his hazel eyes meeting hers with a quiet nod. "You keep praying, okay? You're good at it," he said softly, and Lily beamed. "Okay, mister. Vance, I will." The crowd surged closer, some reaching out to pat Lily's back, others wiping their eyes as phones captured at all Larson's stunned retreat, Vance's tender wisdom, a moment so unexpected it turned a child's gift into a shared tear of joy. The festival resumed, but the day belonged to Vance and Lily, a prayer and an answer that left everyone smiling, stunned by what came next. The applause settled into a warm murmur as the Middletown festival regained its stride, the bluegrass band striking up a lively tune, the cider booth buzzing again with chatter. "Yotde." Vance stood beside Lily, his gray sweater flecked with festival dust, his hazel eyes softening as he handed her a small festival Pina Red Star with Middletown pride scrawled across it. "For your collection," he said with a grin, and Lily clutched it, her smile radiant, her green eyes sparkling as she pinned it to her sundress, her prayer still tucked in Vance's hand. The crowd buzzed, some lingered to snap photos, others drifted back to the fair, whispering about the prayer, the girl, the man who'd turned it into magic. Then came a twist. A sharp crackle split the calm, a sudden hum bursting from the festival's PA system usually reserved for lost child calls or band intros. The speakers flared to life, and a grainy audio feed broke through, raw and unscripted. It was a woman's voice, tense and clipped, time-stamped 3 days earlier. Vance is a soft-spot family man, big heart, easy to tug. Get the girl to give him the prayer her dad's death's a hook. He'll choke up. We'll tag it Vance Grumblesittle's stick. The crowd froze, a collective gasp slicing through the warm air as heads swiveled, searching for the source. The audio rolled on, revealing a second voice schooler, calculated. Perfect play the kid card, catch 'em raw. We've got our aunt lined up broke, thinks it'll push Vance for aid. It's a win for the optics, trust me. The feed cut abruptly, replaced by a single word blaring through the speakers in a robotic tone. Exposed. The silence that followed was electric, heavier than the applause that had crowned Vance moments before, as the crowd processed the revelation as setup. A scheme, a child's prayer turned into a tool. Eyes darted to Lily, who blinked, puzzled, her pin glinting as she looked up at Vance. A man in a flannel shirt gasped, "They used her," while a woman in a Reds cap shouted, "That's awful." The crowd surged, some glared toward the edges. Others turned to Vance, whose face tightened with a flicker of shock, then settled into something deeper compassion, perhaps, or clarity. He hadn't expected this, not the prayer, not the joy it sparked, and certainly not this exposure. Lily's small voice broke the hush. "Mister." "Vance, what's that?" Her green eyes searching, the pin tilting as she fidgeted. Vance crouched again, his hand steady on her shoulder, his voice gentle but firm. "I mean, some folks try to play a trick, Lily, but it's okay. Your prayer was real, and that's what counts." The crowd murmured, some with fury, others with a wee as phones rose higher, capturing the moment. The twist wasn't just the plot, it was what came next. The PA crackled again, and a live voice broke through, distorted but clear. Vance was the mark, crack him, crack his shine. Check the roots. The system cut to static, leaving a void filled with gasps. Who's behind it? They used a kid as the mystery deepened, a dark thread in the day's light. Vance stood, his gaze sweeping the square, his stillness a stark contrast to the storm around him. A woman in a sun hat shouted, "Who'd do that?" But no answers came. The crowd's buzz rising, some pointed fingers. Others turned to Vance, their admiration swelling as the layers peeled back. He stepped forward, the crunch of cobblestones under his shoes cutting through the noise like a quiet call. The festival hushed instantly, all eyes on him as he spoke, his voice steady, slicing through the tumult with a calm that stunned everyone anew. "I don't know who's behind this," he said, gesturing to the speakers, or why they'd use a little girl's heart to try it. "But I'll tell you, this prayers aren't tricks, and neither's hope." He paused, letting the silence settle, his hazel eyes meeting Lily's before sweeping the crowd. "You gave me something real, Lily, your prayer, your trust, and I meant every word back. It's not just about heaven, it's about here now, building something good for kids like you, for towns like this, for all of us who've lost someone." The crowd stood spellbound, some with tears welling, others nodding, caught off guard by the depth in his tone. "If this was a situpto, hurt us. To divide, use it, doesn't win unless we let it," he continued, his voice firm but warm. "I prayed with my mama growing up. She taught me it's stronger than any game. We can choose that for you." He nodded to Lily, who beamed for them. He glanced toward the edges for each other. "That's my fight, what's yours?" He stepped back, his hands in his pockets, his gaze lingering on the crowd as Evelyn and Miles joined from the sidelines, hugging his legs. The silence broke with applause, not hesitant, but thunderous, shaking the square as people leapt up, families, vendors, kids cheering with a ferocity that drowned out any lingering doubt. Larson slumped further, her face buried, her scheme obliterated by the weight of her exposure and Vance's unyielding grace. Lily's aunt emerged from the crowd, tears streaming as she hugged her niece, whispering, "I'm so sorry." The festival swirled, but the moment was Vance and Lily's twist of betrayal, a stunning exchange, leaving the world to marvel at what came next. The festival's rhythm returned as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft orange glow over Middletown's cobblestone square. "Yotde." Vance stood beside Lily, his gray sweater now slung over his shoulder, his hazel eyes softening as he handed her a small festival ribbona blue star with hope stitched in white. "For your prayer," he said with a grin, and Lily clutched it, her smile radiant, her green eyes sparkling as she pinned it beside the red star, her drawing still tucked in Vance's pocket. The crowd buzzed. Some lingered to shake his hand. Others drifted back to booths, whispering about the prayer, the twist, the girl who'd sparked it all. Within hours, the story broke free of Middletown's borders. Phones buzzed as clips flooded social media. Vance's words, the leaked audio, the cryptic "check the roots," warning spreading like wildfire across platforms. X erupted with Vance Speaks trending alongside Prayer Unveiled, racking up millions of views overnight. JD. Vance just turned a kid's gift into a miracle. One viral tweet read, shared by a mom in Akron. Another, from a teacher in Toledo, said, "That's how you answer with heart, not headlines." The online buzz split praise for Vance's tenderness, shock at the scheme, and curiosity about the unseen hand behind it. By morning, newsrooms seized the narrative. Headlines flashed, "Yo today." Vance's touching words to girl go viral, and little girl's prayer unmasks plot in Middletown. Some hailed Vance, calling him a voice of compassion and authenticity. Others debated the ethics of using a child, questioning who'd pull such strings. Lily's aunt issued a tearful statement via a local paper, her voice breaking. "I was desperate. I thought it'd help us. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean this." It faltered online, buried under clips of Vance's calm and Lily's beaming smile, her role a shadow to the moment's light. The ripple effects raced outward. At the square, a vendor packed up, muttering to a friend, "Never seen a guy turn a trap into tears like that kid's got a hero now." Fairgoers lingered on the paths, some stopping Vance as he walked with Evelyn and Miles. "You're a good soul, Senator," to which he nodded, "Thanks, just being real," his kids skipping beside him. Local reporters swarmed, but he moved through them with steady strides, Miles clutching his hand, his silence louder than their clamor. Beyond Middletown, the story took root. Parents shared the footage with their families, turning Vance's words into a bedtime tale. "See this?" a mom in Columbus told her daughter, pausing the clip. "You don't need to fix everything, just care." Teachers from Kentucky to Michigan played the video in classrooms, sparking talks about kindness and courage. "He didn't dodge, he embraced," a high school teacher told her class, her voice warm. "That's what counts." The clip became a touchstone, a lens on how to meet a child's gift with grace. The "check the roots" twist fueled speculation. Online forums buzzed with theories. Was it a rival? A media stunt? A hidden agenda? But no hard proof surfaced. Sleuths dug into activist networks, unearthing vague ties to advocacy groups, though nothing stuck. The mystery kept Prayer Unveiled trending, a dark undercurrent to Vance's light, but it never eclipsed his message. Talk shows dissected it all, from the scheme's fall to Vance's rise, with one host noting, "If JD. Vance can turn that into this, he's stronger than any hill he's climbed." Lily's world brightened. Her mom said she wore the ribbon everywhere, her smile a constant as she told friends, "Mr. Vance kept my prayer." The festival faded into town lore, but its legacy was Vance's words. Schools used it to teach empathy. Families leaned on it for talks about hope. A TikTok trend emerged, kids reciting, "We're in this together," over soft guitar, captioned Vance vibes. The roots mystery faded without resolution, a footnote to the real story, a man's grace under a child's gift. As the buzz grew, one sentiment echoed: Vance hadn't just answered Lily. He'd shown everyone how to meet kindness with tears of joy. Back at the square, a groundskeeper swept petals, pausing to watch the clip on his phone. "Guy's got a gift," he muttered, nodding. "Made that girl shine in us too." The day was over, but its lessons were just beginning to reshape the world beyond those cobblestone paths. The festival's echoes faded into Middletown's quiet nights, but JD. Vance's words to Lily lived on, a gentle spark that refused to fade. Months turned to seasons, and the town square returned to its daily hum, kids chasing kites, vendors hawking wares, but the story lingered. a thread woven into countless lives. Vance's promise, "Your prayer's my prayer now," became a beacon, whispered in homes, shared in classrooms, a quiet reminder of a moment when a little girl's gift met a man's heart and brought tears of joy to all who heard it. Social media kept the light burning. Vance Speaks trended for weeks, amassing millions of shares as people posted the video with captions like "Kindness wins" and "JD. Vance just gave us all a lift." TikTok spun into a wave, kids and parents reciting, "We're in this together," over gentle chords, their voices a chorus of warmth. Schools from Ohio to Oregon looped the clip, teachers pausing to ask, "What's your prayer?" Students penned reflections about compassion, some confessing, "I'd have stumbled, made her smile," and that's everything. Lily's life glowed. Her mom said she kept the ribbon pinned to her backpack, her grin a fixture as she told friends, "Mr. Vance is my hero." The festival became a tale told at potlucks and playgrounds, a story of a girl and a senator that softened even the toughest souls. Vance returned to his Senate work and family life with the same steady focus that had defined the day. Colleagues said he downplayed the buzz, just talked to a kid, he'd told one, a faint grin breaking through his attention on Evelyn's homework and Miles's latest Lego builds. Yet those words lingered, seeping into hearts and minds. "Are we building together?" a dad in Dayton asked his wife, replaying the clip. "He's right, it's about us." They bridge divide skeptic and dreamer, town and city uniting people in a shared nod to grace over grievance. A viral post captured it, JD. Vance didn't just answer a girl, showed us how to care. The screens went quiet, but the lesson lived on. A final YouTube text flashed. Vance spoke, Lily smiled, hope or heart. You decide. Share this, reflect, choose your prayer every day. The question hung open, inviting all to ponder. How will we meet the gifts we're given?